let's just jump straight into it, dude. There's so much,
It's too much. Yeah.
there's actually too much.
All right.
Um,
What
I'm
topic
gonna
do you
let
want to
you.
start?
I don't even know. Let's just get into the meat, Let's start with the AI wars, and then we can talk about some non-AI related stuff after.
Sure,
But
sure.
that's been dominating.
All right. Sounds like
Um,
a plan. Do we want to start
yeah.
with OpenAI?
Yeah, I mean, if we go in order of the most recent announcements, yeah,
Yep.
OpenAI. Did you watch the little video they released?
I did. I
You
did.
did.
Well, I went to the whole event. It
Yeah.
was very interesting.
Mm.
Do you want to give like a bit of a summary of what happened at that event?
Yeah, so I guess it was pretty short. I think it was live, which
Yeah.
yeah, I guess they're pretty confident enough to do some live demos.
Yes.
And yeah, start off. They got a new model. First of all, it's not Sam. It
Right.
is Mira, I think. One of the other. I don't need to know the names of all the employees. But yeah, someone else that's not the CEO presenting this one. They had a few they did some slides saying, "Hey, we got a new model." And it's called GPT 4.0. Interesting name, but okay. And better than GPT-4, now multimodal. It's got voice capabilities, I think image as well. Um, and free, which is
Free
interesting.
first.
Interesting
Yeah.
to me, free. And then they did some demos. They got some, I don't know if the engineers or product people come up, did some live demos, especially showing off the voice, which was yeah, pretty. I would say they blew my mind again. They
Okay.
keep doing it.
If you had
Yeah.
one word to describe that event, what would you use?
One word. Hmm. Uh, cool. I'll say it's cool. Like it was, like I was, it was cool.
Yep.
If I was to
Yep.
summarize it all my feelings, because like at some points I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and at some points I'm like, oh okay, yeah, I guess, sure. So if I was to average it out, I would say it was pretty cool. What's your
Okay.
one word?
I'd say phenomenal. I
Okay.
loved it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think this sort of pushed the envelope a bit further up.
Mm.
So I know how we had the GPT-3 and then it moved to GPT-4
Yeah.
and the jump wasn't that massive. I think this one seems like a bit bigger of a jump, even though like maybe as a model, it's not that big of
Mm.
a jump, but I think
Yeah.
for a customer, right, or for a
Mm.
front-facing side of things, it's a massive jump. It has a lot more benefits and
Okay.
I think the users will sort of feel the impact of it a lot more.
Mm. Okay.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you think of, the format of the event? Do you think like it seemed pretty chilled, like it wasn't like
Yeah.
a big thing. They did hype it up a little bit before,
Yep.
but yeah, what did you think of the actual
Well, to be
if
honest, I didn't even know they had an event.
mm.
It just popped up on my feed. I was like, what the hell? So I just jumped on. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I have to watch this. And I watched it. I was like, oh shit, this is actually very, very cool. Like
Yeah.
I can see myself using this on a day-to-day basis. That's how cool it was. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's sort of replacing uh, my Google completely at this point. Like, I think the
Really?
only
Okay.
reason I'd be using Google would be just to find, like, just to search out directions and stuff for
Yeah.
maps.
Okay.
But I don't see myself actually using Google anymore, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was that interesting.
Mm.
Um, and I'm already starting to use it this way,
Yeah.
like for everything. Like I want a direct result rather than going
Mm.
through pages. And
Yeah.
I think we're getting to the point where we either want direct results or if I have to search something along the lines of,
Mm.
oh, let's say what's a good restaurant or what's good around the area,
Yeah.
or things more around that side of things, I just go onto TikTok. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So my
Mm.
attention is usually split between these two applications most of the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
which is very
Classic,
interesting.
classic, classic Gen Z.
No, no, no.
Total
I
Gen Z
am not
answer
Gen
there.
Z.
Total
No,
Gen Z
no.
answer. Okay. Let me give you my millennial answer.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Well, okay, not an answer, but I'm surprised how confident you are in the results
Well, they're pretty good,
from
actually.
yeah, like so I guess what kind of things are you searching that you were no long that you were searching on Google that you're now using to look up in
Everything, like
yeah.
just basic questions, you know. I don't have to
Okay.
do much research work. I just search it on.
Okay.
Well,
So
most of the time I'm just speaking it out to ChatGPT now, which is even
yeah.
more surprising because I never used to
Yeah.
do that. I'd be like, yeah, I'll
Mm,
type it out, but now I don't type any of that stuff. I just
yeah.
say it at this point because it
Nice.
actually feels like you're actually having a proper conversation
Hmm.
rather than it doesn't feel like a robotic how Google
Okay.
Assistant or things like that feel.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. And how often how often does it get stuff wrong? Or do you not know? I guess if you
well,
do you ever feel like you have to check?
not really. Like most of the time, it's
Really?
fine. Like
Really?
I'm not really searching anything crazy.
Okay.
Things that I'm searching, yeah, that's I'm usually just searching restaurants or things around the area to
Yeah.
do, which mostly goes to TikTok. I don't really do that on
Mm,
ChatGPT,
yeah.
and things where I have to be like, oh yeah, hey, I have to write something. Can you give me a good format to write this? I need to do this application work. Can you help me out with that? That sort of thing, and
Yeah.
it does it like uh, good example. I'm looking at some visa stuff and I'm like, hey,
Mm.
can you help me out with this? Where do I find this particular item? Or how do I go about this process? And it just tells me exactly how it is.
Wow. Okay. I was about to
And
say
it's
there's
been
no
pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah. That's I think you're the ideal customer. Um,
Yeah.
because I'm just thinking like I will still check. I wouldn't I would not trust it yet personally
Okay.
with um but I'll do very very simple things like if I'm like maybe how long should something be in the oven itself. I was like something random. I'll bring this up
Yes.
later, but I was like and then this one I actually used the voice where I was like I need to reheat some pizza in the
Yes.
oven. What's the best way for me to do that?
Yeah.
And then it tell me temperature, time, everything. Watch
Yeah.
out for like, when it starts looking like this, all that. And I was like, cool, that was easy. Um, I have used it for more important things, but I have also checked to verify that it was right.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's been, do it was actually super useful for me when I was doing like my taxes.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
like, but then I would tell it, I'll be like, okay, I need you to look at this page, read it,
Oh.
and tell
Yeah.
me, just confirm, like, is this what I need to do with my tax? What do I need to put in these forms? That kind of stuff. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd ask it straight up, hey, I need to fill out this form. What do I need to write with my thing? I don't know if I'm that confident yet, you know?
Yeah. But then the question is, would you usually do that with Google as well? That's sort of the
Sorry?
thing. You wouldn't do that with Google as well. So
Do what with
it
Google?
like be
Like,
like, hey, help me out with this taxes or help me out with these things.
yeah, I mean, I would Google it. I'll be like, what do I need to put in this thing? And then it'll take me to the right page, all that kind of stuff. But I guess I still need the source of truth, I think is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because
Well, you
I'm
can just
still,
ask him, be like, hey, can you make sure you add like just say like, hey, can you add
yeah.
your sources? That's pretty much it, you know. If you
Okay.
really
Yeah.
are that paranoid.
It's not paranoia. These things genuinely do hallucinate. Like
You're sounding like an
um
old man.
that's what I'm saying. This is the millennial take. You're giving the Zoomer take. So but okay, that's interesting. I like that we've got some difference here.
Yeah.
But I guess yeah, either way, the new model, I've tried it out. It's really good. Um, they once again still ahead of the pack. Um, I I don't know if I've looked at the benchmarks, but I'm pretty sure it's still the best. Like a lot of
Yeah.
companies had caught up to GPT-4.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess once again they've been like, nope, we're still better.
Yeah.
We still have better models. And the fact that it's free, I also watched another interview that Sam Altman did after they released this, and he said they've done a good job of making it efficient enough that they can release it for free. So I guess
Yes.
that's yeah, that's I think that's the more impressive thing to me.
How are they
That
making money? Like that's the question. And
yeah,
I still don't know what is gonna be in the paid version. So I'm still quite
yeah,
confused because I pay for the
mm,
version. Again, I don't think we've got the full 4.0 version just yet, right?
yeah, yeah.
Uh, but what's gonna be the take?
I don't. Can you use the desktop app if you're not on the
Desktop
um?
app is not available yet.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if you have to pay to use the desktop app because
Yeah, but
that's
I'm already
already.
paying.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying like you're asking like what the paid features are. I'm wondering
Yeah,
if
yeah,
that's it. But yeah, about how they make money in that interview as well. He said he's pretty happy with the subscription model that they've got right now, and it looks like he's
yeah,
not planning on changing from that. So, I don't
yeah,
mind if they're happy and we're happy, they don't need
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
keep, trying other things. But yeah, it'll be interesting to know what features they add um to the paid service. Um,
Question: what did you think
yep.
of the desktop application that they announced?
I think okay, so this is the one where like initially I was like mind blown,
Yeah,
and then I was like, okay, like I can see how this kind of works. And it's not I think that the model itself is more technically impressive than the
yeah, yeah,
desktop app. The desktop
yeah,
app is really cool. Like the what it unlocks in terms of like sharing your screen
yeah.
and talking through what you see on the screen. That's like literally game changing application of using the already really good model. Um, but I guess essentially it's probably just taking pictures and sending it and being like, what do you see? And asking questions based on that.
Well,
So
that's interesting because I think
yeah,
my take would be very different to
yeah,
how you're going.
mm,
Like for me, I'm waiting for the desktop app very eagerly at the moment
yeah,
because the
same.
way I want to sort of use it is I'll actually have it on my screen like 24/7.
Hmm.
And when I need to ask question like, "Hey, can you tell me this?" I look at my
Hmm.
screen. Like I want to start using it for things like day trading. I want to start using it things like actually creating applications, and
Yeah,
it's sort of telling me, giving me sort of in a way tuition, right, to
yeah,
help me
yeah,
out create what I or to get to my end goal is because I think that's
yeah,
the biggest missing piece that's from
mm,
ChatGPT at the moment. They can't do any of these actions, right?
yeah,
At
yeah.
least closest they can get to right now is help me get to
Have me do it.
that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
And
It
and
it
I,
definitely. Mm. Sorry,
and
go
it
on.
feels like it's like a training wheel essentially to help
Mm,
me through things, or make my life a lot easier. Um,
yeah,
so I think
yeah,
that was the main thing. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a game changer for me because I know I would love to use something like this. Like even just doing like an online application, I'm like, hey, can
yeah.
you check if this is correct
Mm,
or if I'm doing this correctly, or
yeah,
tell me what I'm doing wrong, or
mm,
hey, can you help me out with this email straight away, rather than going into ChatGPT, typing it like or putting
yeah,
copy pasting it into it and be like, hey, can you help me out?
yeah,
And like even for work, right now, the way I use ChatGPT is all the documentation that I do, I sort of
mm,
run it through ChatGPT to help me out with some of the things,
yeah,
or at least like clean out some of the things and
mm,
um, like help me with hours of research rather than doing all of that. It just helps me write it down, give me proper format, things like that. So I think
yeah,
now I just won't have to copy paste it across. Rather, it's just be like, yeah, hey, help me out with this. Tell me where I can put this. What do you think of this one? Um, that sort of thing.
yeah. Yeah, total game changer, I think. Like in terms of workflow, in terms of just being like, hey, is this right? Kind of thing. Like you don't even have to it's kind of seamless, I think, having it just there in the background. I will say another Zoomer take you just given me there. Having it on 24/7, that's a lot of trust, I gotta say. That's a lot of trust. But yeah,
This is what I'm
do
saying though. Like I think like I've just given up on the privacy aspect of things just
yeah,
because
yeah.
I feel like every company is already doing that.
Mm,
We have Facebook sort of selling our messenger data to Netflix. It
yeah.
just came out recently. So
Mm,
I'm just at a point where, yeah, privacy is not a thing. So I'll just go with it, at this point.
yeah.
I'm in it or not in it. Like, thing is, I just want to use full advantage
Mm,
of where I'm at.
yeah.
Like,
Once again, ideal customer. I think this is what they're hoping though. They're hoping that like people will be like, this is so convenient that I'm willing to give away, whatever data they want. Which kind of has been the trend of what we've been doing. We trust Google, we trust Facebook with all our stuff. I mean, I don't know if we trust it, but we just don't care, I guess, enough to do anything about the fact that they have all our data. They know where we are all the time. They know everything we say to each other. They read our emails, all that. So
yes,
um, that's yeah, it's a fair take. But you're definitely they're betting on everyone becoming like you, which I think is probably gonna happen the more people grow into just growing up using these tools.
yeah.
So yeah, very interesting.
My question is,
Mm,
and this might be a very open-ended question.
mm.
What do they, even let's say they take this data, right? What do they do with this data? Because there is no advertisements on ChatGPT. So what
Yeah,
do they do
yeah,
with this data? Because that's
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 true.
Google's thing, right? For
Mm,
Google, that's very important because that's how
yeah.
they earn money. What do these guys do?
So I'm less concerned with what they would do. I'm more concerned with like any kind of surveillance,
Yeah.
like in terms of governments getting involved. Hey, we suspect Amon's doing this, and then OpenAI is like, okay, we gotta obey the government. Let's give him. Well, thankfully, Amon's giving us 24/7 access to his desktop. Let's see exactly what he's doing. Um, you know, so I guess that'll be my concern, considering
Yeah.
just the change, especially like the way politics is structured these days. It's kind of insane. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
put it past any governments going full authoritarian, anytime soon. So that's a concern. But yeah, I guess in that sense, that's a good point. Like they don't gain anything from spying on us at this point. Maybe they'll just gain good training data.
Yeah.
That's
True.
probably what they'll be using it for. Um, okay, talk to me about the voice. When you first saw
Um,
the demo,
So
we
it's pretty cool. Like
yeah.
I think this is the first time I've actually felt. I think because even I've been
Mm,
using it, right? Even though it's
mm,
not fully out yet, it's like a
yeah,
little bit. Like you can still use the voice assistant in a way that they were showcasing
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Um, and I think this is probably the first time I've actually felt more comfortable
Mm,
talking to a voice assistant than
yeah,
um, typing it down. I
yeah.
think this gap has always been there with Google Assistant, with Siri, with all these other places, right? Where it
Mm.
just doesn't feel natural enough, right, to be able to have a conversation. But this is probably the first time and they've done a pretty well job of that. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty much the main update, right, from this
Mm.
take because they've just changed how the voice assistant did and how natural the conversation feels.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I tried the voice one maybe like 6 months ago and
Yep.
I couldn't use it. I
Yep.
was like, I spoke and then it spoke back to me and then I was like, I'm just gonna end this right now. Like, I just felt
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yep.
I tried it again recently and it's not the one they demoed in the thing yet for us, I don't think, but
Cool.
yeah, it's really good. And it's the one in the demo, the response time and the tone and all that kind of stuff was really convincing.
Yep.
So yeah, very cool. Yeah, they've done it again. Um, yeah, it, it opens up a lot in terms of just leaving, a system running in the background, asking it a question. It gives you answers straight away. It's really we're getting very close to Jarvis.
Yep. Yep.
Getting very close.
That is very true. Question is, what? So you've seen the whole demo, right?
Yeah.
Which demo did you like the most? All the examples they showed.
Um, okay, so I think the voice one was very cool. it got a little gimmicky when they were doing the whole change your voice to this kind of thing. I mean, that's it's cool to show like, okay, it has different kinds of expressions and it's very responsive. Um, I'll still say that the most useful one to me would still be the desktop app, seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah,
And yeah, uh, with the I, I guess the my best takeaway from this was actually like um this is really impressive, but I'm pretty confident that it's not just going to be OpenAI providing these kinds of things.
yeah,
And that's good for competition, I think, and for us,
yes.
especially because they made it free. They made it
Mhm.
free. Now everyone's got to rethink their plan. Is you got to rethink things because why would anyone use your model now? Like, why would anyone have
Yeah,
reason to use your
pay
thing?
for
So,
your thing. Yeah,
it just got very interesting.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
any,
Uh,
are you ready to move on from OpenAI? Do you have any
uh,
final thoughts?
I think there was one more thing.
Mm,
There was one more feature that I really liked, which we probably didn't cover,
mm.
was the translate feature.
Yep, yep.
I kind of love it. I'm
Mm.
like, that surprisingly makes a lot of other applications obsolete,
Yep,
which
as
I
they
think,
do.
as they do, I think
Yeah.
OpenAI, like I think with ChatGPT, is just making a lot of tech obsolete, which
Mm.
is quite shocking
Yeah.
how it's just
Yeah.
killing apps left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think that was pretty cool. I can see
Mhm.
like outside the desktop application demo. I think that was one of the cooler ones that I
Yeah.
really liked, and I think I'll probably use it here and there. I can
Yeah.
see myself it being useful.
The translation demo is a bit of a classic in tech announcements. It's I feel like everyone does one every year. This has been the first one that I was like, oh, I might use this. Like every time
Yeah,
it's felt really awkward. I think
yeah,
with the other demos, like it's felt really cool and like useful, but I would never be like, I can't imagine walking up to someone and being like, okay, look at this Google Pixel and I'm gonna talk and then give it to you and then that
yeah.
kind of sounded weird, but then this one seemed a lot more seamless.
Yeah, it seems
Um,
like, oh hey, it feels like you're actually having a person with like you're having a
yeah,
conversation with the third person who can
yeah,
converse in between you two, rather than it
uh,
feels like, oh yeah, uh, that's
a device.
it's just a device that you're talking to, and then you have to wait for the other person to talk. So,
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay, got a lot to talk about. We're gonna come back to OpenAI, but let's go in terms of announcements. So you didn't know that the OpenAI announcement was happening, but in the weeks leading up, there was rumors, I think, like they're gonna release a search engine. They're
yeah,
gonna do something that was gonna compete with Google, that kind of stuff. And then a couple days before, Sam Altman tweeted like, "It's not gonna be a search engine, but it's gonna be really cool and it's kind of magical." And it was kind of magical. So
yeah.
that didn't happen. Very interesting, the timing of the
Hmm.
event. Day before, 2 days before Google
A day
I/O.
before, a day
Day
before. Yeah.
before, that's so rude. That's so rude. It's that's a rap beef type of behavior, you know? And
Definitely.
they just did that. And yeah, very funny. But yeah, Google basically had the same event, but
Yep.
just over 4 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
The question is, what did you think of that Google event? What were your thoughts?
if I'm being honest, I don't know if I really watched much of what they released. Like I
Yeah.
was I was still like, oh my gosh, OpenAI. And then I was like, oh, Google I/O is coming out. And then I wonder if there's gonna be anything that's gonna blow my mind. And then it was basically the same things that
Yeah.
OpenAI released with
So
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe
So
you know more than me. Give me your thoughts.
here's my take on the Google event. It was So the differences between both ChatGPT and Google event was
Mm,
basically ChatGPT was like, oh, this is how you can use it. Here's the demo. This is how you can
mm,
use it. Here's a demo. This is a live demo, like
yeah.
sort of a live demo sort of a thing. And this is how you
Mm,
use it. Google event was very weird. Like,
mm,
first of all, I think of course, ChatGPT having the event just before Google I/O sort of killed all the buzz for
yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
That was that was very much intentional, but that did
Yeah.
happen.
Mm,
Um, then Google trying to justify that you have to pay for these models just didn't
mm,
work too well.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, their announcement was very complicated, even for someone who works in tech. So I don't know. At least that's
Yeah.
how I felt.
Yeah.
Um, they were talking like there was too much jargon going on during the
Okay.
whole event, which
Yeah.
people could not really care about. Like for
Mm,
somebody who's not in tech, who doesn't really understand machine learning, they
yeah.
don't give a fuck.
Mm,
Like you need to tell us what you can actually do, you know. And I think that's where a lot of I think they lost a lot of people in that weird translation phase.
mm,
Um, yeah, I think that was it was a bit of a cumbersome event. And then yeah, of course, them having like so many different versions of Gemini. I'm like, which one do I use? You need to explain
yeah.
to me properly. Like I do not understand, and I'm not gonna, keep going through these different packages to understand what it actually means. You
Yeah.
need to tell
Yeah.
me what it means in this event. That's pretty much why everyone's watching this event.
Mm,
So those were my sort of thoughts for Google.
yeah. It's it's interesting. So I watched another interview with who's the CEO of Google? Uh
That's
I always
what was
confuse
name.
Microsoft and
Yeah,
and
no,
Google. Yeah.
Microsoft is Satya, so the other
Yeah.
one is
Sundar,
yeah.
yeah.
So that
So
guy.
he had an interview, and honestly, this was before both events, and he seems pretty actually confident and pretty he knows that there's obviously it's a very competitive time right now. But he seems pretty chilled that Google is doing the right thing. And I took some confidence from that. And then when IO happened, I was like, I don't know if you guys should be this confident as you say you are. But they are, technically in a better position. More people use Google than
Yeah,
OpenAI, so they definitely have a giant head start. But I feel like they're super disjointed. Like I think
yeah,
so. I didn't even know until recently that you could just go onto the Gemini thing and have some sort of ChatGPT like experience. And I think they've got so many products that they're introducing it to it that they can't focus on any specific one. So they're like, we've got it in email, we've got it in sheets, we've got it in everything, we've got it in search. Okay, and then we'll get to search, but we've got it in all our products. Kind of like, I don't know, like, can I use it right now? Is it available to me? I don't even know, you know?
yeah,
And it's because with Google, you never know. And that's kind of what they've done with, I think those two events back to back is a really good example of why Google created the Transformer, they wrote the Transformer paper. OpenAI takes it and makes an actually, useful product out of it. And here they're like, hey, we're capable of doing all this stuff. And OpenAI is like, we've taken all that stuff and here's what you can do with it. Like it's very different in terms of how
yeah,
they're advertising it. They're advertising it. Google's saying, here's look at all the stuff that we can do. And OpenAI is like, here's all the stuff that you can do with our stuff. And
yeah.
it's yeah, it felt a bit I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna if they integrate it well in the coming months and it seamlessly flows into our thing and then I'm like, oh okay, I don't need to use two apps. I can use just Google. We'll see. But I feel like they were not sure and getting to search, they were not sure if they wanted to replace search with this, and now it looks like they're half doing that.
Yeah, this is it. This is the issue, right? Like
Yeah.
they seem very confused, and the thing is, for consumers, they don't want to deal with that. I think
Mm,
I think one of the main reasons why Apple sort of does so well, right, is because they don't confuse the consumers. They keep consumer
mm,
in the forefront and be like, hey, what is the easiest thing for the consumer? And we'll
yeah,
do that. We'll just do that. We
yeah.
don't want to confuse our users. I think the issue with Google is uh, like they've done this in past where they keep releasing applications. It might be the same exact use case. Like you've seen
Mm,
Hangouts, we've seen Duo, we've seen so many different applications that do the
yeah,
same exact thing, like Google Meets, they do
mm,
the same exact thing. And they're sort of competing with each other, but then
yeah,
most of them end up failing. There's like so many projects, and Google is quite well known for this. And the
yeah,
reason I think they had that luxury to do that kind of a thing was because they always had this Google search, which was
mm,
there was no competition for it. Like nobody could compete with Google search.
yeah,
That was just it. I
yeah,
think this is the first time where they're feeling Google search is being threatened
mm,
and they're scrambling. But the thing is, they're trying to show this confidence face, but at the same time, it just seems like a hot mess. Like for me, like if I'm using Android, right, I want to move to Android just for this
mm,
AI stuff. But the thing is, why should I? Because thing is, they have this Google Assistant, which is a
yeah,
different product to Gemini.
yeah,
There's a different
mm,
product to this other Gemini, which is a different product to this other voice assistant. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? I don't understand. Like, why is it all not? Why are you as a company not going towards one direction? Why
yeah,
is it like 10 different directions? And even with Google, like one of the biggest issues is they should not have called it Google Gemini. Rather, it should just be, hey, this is Google. This is just
yeah,
a new feature to Google that you
mm,
utilize for everything.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think this is the biggest issue. Like I think they get confused themselves in terms of where they want to go. Because the thing is, if they introduce these things, they will lose a lot of their revenue because that's
mm,
how they earn their money. Google AdSense is how they earn their money.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is. Have you seen the new interface for the upcoming kind of refreshed Google search slash Gemini
yeah,
experience?
I don't care because the thing is,
It,
I don't know what it is. I'm still confused. Like after that event, for somebody to come out confused, that shouldn't be the case. And for me, I'm not going to invest my time into something that just made me more confused. Uh,
yeah.
that's it. Like if I don't understand, why would I use it? And that's pretty much
Mm,
what every customer is going through.
yeah.
Um, with OpenAI,
Yeah.
it's quite clear. Like, hey, this is the direction they're going through, and
Mm,
people are ready to use it. That sort of a thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's I don't know what the plan is. I think they don't want to lose search, but they also don't want to fall behind. I think they need to figure out a way to integrate it well. Yeah, I don't know what their plan is going to be. But what they presented in the event was like you search for something. It seems like almost the whole screen is generative AI. Like, usually Google will tell you, a bit of a summary of, if you search for a famous person, it will show the picture, it'll show, a few facts about them, that kind of stuff. It's basically going to be more of that, and then
Yeah.
search links like below that. Maybe you have to scroll down a bit.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what that's going to do for the AdSense business. I don't know
Yeah.
what their plan is. I don't know what that's going to do for like companies that depend on clicks for
SEO.
SEO, all that kind of stuff. Uh, there's a lot of concern there in terms of if all these companies that create all this written material have to go out of business because they're not making ad money anymore. What are we going to be referencing? You know? So I don't know what's going to happen there. I hope they've got a plan for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I feel
so
like this is the first time. This is the first time they're getting competition. And the thing is,
mm,
they don't want to put the consumer first. And it's
mm,
quite clear. Like with ChatGPT being there, right? It's quite clear they want to put consumer first, especially with the things that they're releasing for free,
mm,
for this, for that. Um, they are putting consumer first, and I think that's what they forget. Like if they want to win a competition against another another company, right? That's what they have to put. That's what they have to do. And this is what is so lovely about having competition in this tech industry
Yeah.
is that you get the best of everything. As a
Yeah.
consumer, you win. Consumers win, and that's
Yep.
what I get the feel with ChatGPT. Whereas with Google, it just feels like it's too disjointed, and I don't want to be bothered with their weird thing. Like they need to come up with this one product that I can use. If they had this all in Google, right, and it was ready
Yeah.
to use right now, I would use it because yeah, sure, it's right there.
Yeah.
Everybody has a Google app
Yeah.
or they have a Google page opened up on their phone 24/7. Like they'll just jump on and just start using it straight away. Um,
Yeah.
so
Well,
they
that's what they're saying they're gonna do.
saying it, why is
Because
it not done?
well,
Is the
I'm
question.
guessing they're rolling it out slowly because I mean, I guess as a person that just uses ChatGPT, um, do you still want that option of being able to scroll through links at
See,
all?
so the thing is, if it did the Chat GPT thing, and sure,
Yeah.
if it gave me an additional option of
Yeah.
giving me the links, I'd
Hmm.
use it because the thing is, at least it gave me the first bit
Yeah.
as all of this information, right? And then
Yeah.
if I want to use, like you said, right, you want sources, you want these things,
Yeah.
right? Those
Yes.
links can be easily provided by Google.
Yeah.
If that is the case, sure, because it is more information. More information is better. It,
Yeah.
even though like maybe I don't want to access it, but the thing is, I would step away from having that as an option.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
they need to sort of think it that way. It's like for me, I want to be able to use my phone, but I want to be able to share my screen while I'm using my phone. Be like, hey, tell me what I'm doing over here, or tell me
Yeah.
if I'm doing this correctly. And that is something that Google can do because they have a whole platform called Android, which is
Yeah.
one of the most famous operating systems in
Yeah.
mobile. So why are they taking so long to do this? It's been
Yeah.
like 2 years now since they've been playing around with this idea. And with the AI stuff, they've been playing around for years, 5 years now. They've just been
Yeah. They've been
teasing
out
here
for
and there, but
ages. Yeah.
yeah, but nothing's really come out of it. I was thinking about the demo they showed 2 3 years ago where you can screen calls, do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Why is it still not out yet? You guys own one of the biggest platforms in the world. Why is this all not integrated till now? And how is another company just coming out with all this information and doing it better than you? Who can't even action? That's like I think that's where the biggest limitation ChatGPT has is to be able to action on things.
Yeah.
Uh, and the way
Yeah.
they're doing it, or the way sort of the workaround right now is through having uh, like having a desktop app, right?
Yeah.
And you're sharing a screen. That's the only
Mhm.
way they can do it at the moment. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
they just don't have that integration. Um,
Yeah. Um, okay. Well, good news for you is that's Google's plan. We're gonna put the ChatGPT like answers at the top of the screen, links
yeah,
underneath.
but the thing is, that's been their plan for past 5 years.
Well,
Like
okay, I'll say
they've
this is
been
what they've
teasing all
announced.
of
Yeah.
this for
Yeah.
past 5 years, and now
Yeah.
just because they're feeling the pressure, they're still
Yeah.
not able to deliver results.
Yeah. That's
I
true.
saw like a Gemini example on
Mm.
Reddit yesterday, and
Yeah.
somebody looked up like, hey, how do I get the cheese to stick to pizza? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, just use glue in it.
There's
And
no way.
yeah, and guess where like somebody actually looked up where that answer was from,
Yeah.
and it was from some Reddit forum that somebody had written down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it seems very half baked. Like everything seems so half baked, and I don't want to use a half baked product. That's not
Mm.
what I want to do. This is one of the worst industry trends where they're wanting users to use half baked product and
Yeah.
do beta testing for them. I don't want to
Yeah.
do that. I want to use a product that actually works for me and is actually doing things at least to a certain accuracy level.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Also with call screening, I think it's there. I just don't think it's here in Australia. So,
Yeah, but that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Why
yeah,
is it not? It should
yeah.
be there everywhere by now.
Um, yeah. Well, good luck, Google. I wish you the best in the battle, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So I've got two more AI related things. Let's talk about first of all,
There was one more
uh,
event. I think you're forgetting.
there was one more event, yeah. So I want to talk about the Microsoft event. And
Yes.
then yeah, let's start with Microsoft. Um just an aside. I don't know if I'm a hater or what, but Microsoft is just gotta be the most like uninteresting in terms of just like their interface. I don't know why I can never connect with the Windows interface, like the operating system. I just because I have a Mac at home and at work I use Windows and it's just I don't know why it's a worse experience just browsing around the OS for some reason, but it just is. I just don't know what that's about. Anyway,
Yeah.
Windows has Copilot again. Another version of Copilot. These guys are competing. Who's competing
Yeah.
more? Versions of Gemini or versions of Copilot? I don't know. Like, what's the race here? Because they've
Uh,
reintroduced
yeah.
Copilot, I think
So
four or
many
five
times.
times now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
crazy.
think I think it's like the same conversation, right? Rather than
Mm.
doing this their own version or this own bloatware sort of a thing, right? This is like a version the way we saw it back in the day with Android being there, but every phone manufacturer would take that Android, remove the
Yeah,
vanilla feature, and put their
yeah,
whole bunch of bloatware. And I feel
yeah,
like that's what this whole thing feels like. It's like they have ChatGPT. Yes, they have
yeah,
ChatGPT, but the thing is, there's so much bloatware that they call it CoPilot. I'm like, what
yeah.
are you guys doing? Just use the normal ChatGPT, and I'll be happy with that. Integrate it into proper stuff, but I don't need this.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just don't use Windows enough to connect with what they're saying because if I just hear it, it sounds great. Like
Yeah,
like the AI, able to access different parts of my computer. I can ask it questions. It's super integrated, but like, why is it not clicking for me? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
yeah, it's because of the user interface.
it's just, yeah, I don't know. They need to figure that out with the experience.
It's hella
Um,
ugly. The interface is
yeah,
hella ugly. Like I want to use it, and I probably will use it because I
yeah,
like to use it for work stuff already, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I definitely will be someone like once they introduce that into my work laptop,
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna go straight ahead and start using it.
yeah.
See if that actually matches to how I use ChatGPT right now on my work laptop.
Mm. Yeah.
But the thing is, again, they have to make sure that it's appealing as well.
Mm.
But the
Yeah.
other
I
thing
think
is, do they really care about it? Or do they
to care
have to
about
really
what?
care about it? About
I
having a
think,
good interface?
I mean, why do people still use ChatGPT when they have it for free on their Windows thing?
Yeah, question. No, so but the thing is, I think the bigger question is why do people use Windows? Well, nowadays, why do people use Windows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would have a reason to buy a Windows laptop if it's not for work.
That's it. You've answered
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it's a utility. It's a utility workspace. Like I don't think people nowadays buy a Windows unless they want to buy like for gaming or
Mm.
just for utility. Those are the two reasons why you would buy it, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, for that, it's good enough for them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't think people would care about having this crazy interface and stuff for those two things.
Mm.
But outside that, it's like I don't think they are too much. They don't care too much about your day to day consumer.
Yeah. Okay. So let's skim through it. Let's just a big summary. It's everything that OpenAI announced integrated into Windows directly. They've got the same see your screen stuff. Um, Now, here's my question. I don't know if
Yep.
you saw this feature, the rewind search feature. Give me your thoughts. I don't want to influence your thoughts, but give me what do you think? And can you maybe
The
describe it? Yeah.
how do you describe it? So it's basically it takes you back in time essentially. It's sort of like, oh yeah, this is what you did or what steps you took. Is that the best way to describe it?
I guess that's
To
visually
get to that point?
that's visually how they describe it. I don't think that's actually how it works. I think basically what they said was, we're watching you all the time, and
Yeah. That's
you
it.
can
That's
ask
it.
a question about something you did earlier, right?
Yeah.
And I was
That's pretty
like,
much what it is. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel once again.
Yeah.
So,
I think there
yeah,
should be an option to turn that off because,
yeah,
like, the thing is, at least with ChatGPT on Mac, right? It's one
mm,
of those things that you can turn it off, you
yeah,
turn it
yeah,
on, turn it off. And,
mm,
Apple is that good with privacy that they won't just let you record it.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't, I don't know if I can trust Windows with that. That's my biggest
Yeah,
issue.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, do we trust Windows? Do you know what my other thing with trust is I don't I'm not confident that these things won't get hacked.
Oh yeah,
You know?
of course. They definitely will.
Like,
At some point they will. And the thing is,
yeah.
if they have a recording of my screen, I'm like, bruh, what the fuck is this nonsense?
Yeah, dude.
The thing is, I at least want to be able to turn it off. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, let's say something I don't want to be outside. I would
Mm,
not open it up in front of this stuff. Uh,
yeah.
it's like sort of sharing your screen on Teams or Zoom, right?
Mm, yeah.
When you're with your coworkers, you won't
Mm,
open certain things in front of your coworkers and things like that.
yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like I don't want Windows to know about what the hell I've been doing on my laptop,
Mm, yeah.
Like I want to dictate when you get to know that,
Yeah.
that sort of
Yeah.
thing. And they just casually just drop down like, oh yeah, they're okay with that,
Like,
I guess.
yeah, we're just watching you
Wink
all the
wink.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to know how they store the data. Like that sounds like a lot of data to just be storing. But I guess if they're announcing it for everyone, they must have some efficient way of doing it. But
Yeah.
what did
Well,
you yeah.
they might have learned it from things like their PlayStation and
Oh,
Xbox.
yep.
They have
Yep.
Xbox, right? So
Mm,
basically, you know how PlayStation, Xbox, they have recording of
yeah.
certain minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
I think they would have
Yeah,
probably learned it
possibly. Yeah,
from
that
there.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, other than that, new Surface laptops, not super interesting. They have a fancy new chip. Um, that
The
the
I like it though. I kind of
Yeah.
like it.
What do
I
you like?
think
You like the laptop?
I like the laptop. I think
Okay.
having a more powerful, like, well, they're claiming
Mm,
it to be more powerful than a Mac uh, M series. So
mm. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
The
I'll
the
take it. Like,
silicon wars are heating up.
yeah, but the thing is, it's built more on the AI as well. So I'm like, I'm in
Yeah,
for it. For me, that's what I want to use my laptop for. I
yeah.
don't really use it for gaming or anything, right?
Mm,
I have a separate console, and that's how I use most of my laptop. So
yeah,
I think I like it. It's very interesting, and I think, yeah, if Apple is not gonna work on this AI stuff, I'm quite concerned at this point because then I'll just move to Windows. Even though yes, yeah, I'm sure they'll address the whole privacy thing, right? And
yeah.
yeah, the UI is dog shit. But like for
Mhm.
me,
Yeah,
like if something just makes my life easier, if it makes it like quick to to responses, and that's pretty much what Windows is, right? It's
yeah.
using ChatGPT's architecture, but yeah, creating actionable items from that. And
Mm,
that's pretty much the point I want to get to, where I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
okay, I have this AI, it's helping me out, it's telling me what needs to be done, but it needs to be able to action that as well.
mm,
um, and
yeah,
if Apple, I don't know what the fuck Apple's doing, but if Apple's not gonna get there, I will switch. I will switch
yeah,
from iPhone to Android. I will switch from Mac to Windows,
yeah. Okay.
because for me,
Well,
it's about the use case, how things are.
yeah. Well, I've got a perfect segue for you. Because I don't know if you saw this news, but Apple and OpenAI are striking a deal.
Oh, really?
Yep.
No way. This is
Yep.
what I wanted. Yes, that's
Yep.
great. That is amazing.
They're
That is
striking a
amazing.
deal. I mean, I don't know if it's confirmed, but yeah. Um, Apple OpenAI deal possibly to be announced at WWDC this year. So that is very interesting developments, right? Um, First of
I
all,
think
let's
that's the
just,
best use
yeah,
case scenario for both Apple and OpenAI, if that
yeah,
is the case,
yeah,
because that's essentially like, I don't know how Google survives after that. Then, if that is the case, and if they decide
yeah,
to do it with both iPhone and Mac, Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but uh, yeah, that's just not gonna survive.
yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. First, before we go into how cool it could be, let's just talk about, does this mean Apple is taking the L and just being like, we tried
Yeah,
and let's just
yeah,
go with OpenAI? Um,
yeah. I think
because
I'd
if
rather them take that
yeah,
before it gets too late,
mm,
because the thing is, you've seen these kind of things, right?
yeah,
You remember how BlackBerry was? BlackBerry was the
mm,
biggest phone, like the biggest smartphone, right?
yeah,
Until iPhone came through. But BlackBerry was like, nah, we're not going to move to a touchscreen. We're going to stick with this, and people
mm,
will continue working through this. And they got
yeah,
obsolete very
yeah,
quickly. And that's why I'm like, Apple, please do not do it, because the thing is, this is very clearly a big, like, I think now if you look at how people are using it, right? A lot of people
mm,
use it. My parents use it. Can you believe, like, they use ChatGPT? They're old,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So it's one of those things, like, if people are using it, and if mainstream people are using it, it's a big deal. And
yeah,
you want to make sure that you're part of that revolution,
mm,
rather than trying to oppose it
yeah.
at all times.
You don't want to get left behind. And it's interesting because these 2 months, May, June, everyone is basically showing their hand and being like, this is what we have basically for the next year. Because this is when they do their big announcements. So very, yeah, very interesting. I don't know. It seems quite rushed because apparently
Yeah,
they're still sorting out the deal, and WWC is like less than a month away, I think.
yeah,
So it seems rushed, but I hope they do it well.
yeah.
I will be
Rather than
interested.
just
Yeah.
take it out.
Yeah. If they just put a chat app in there, I'm gonna be like, I just have the app already. Like I don't need
Yeah,
I want some proper integration. So I don't know if I
sure.
feel like they're just not gonna have that ready in time. But
Yeah,
this could be a really pivotal moment because this is like the deal that Google made with Apple to be their default
yes.
search.
Default search engine. That is
And
very
that was
true.
massive. And that was
That
massive
was
for
rapid.
Google.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
So here's my take on this. I don't think they'll have anything ready for this one.
Mm,
They'll
yeah.
show absolutely nothing, because
Yeah.
knowing Apple, that's how they do it.
Mm,
Uh, they will just be like, yeah, this is the deal we strike,
mm,
and everything that we're gonna see around it is gonna be next year,
yeah. We'll see.
which is a far way off. But
When
say
does
for me,
iOS 18 come out?
uh, that's September. I don't think they have the
I
capability
think they're
to.
gonna aim for September. I think they
No.
announced the deal.
They'll announce like this small features, like
Oh,
things
okay,
with
yeah.
Siri.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
do like very small things, but
Mm,
it's not going to be anything massive. It's not going
yeah.
to be anything massive, because knowing Apple, they will take their time to make sure everything's correct before they put it out. And I
Mm,
think that's going to be next year. And
yeah.
I'll wait for it, because the thing is, it'll, like, everything will have time to mature up
Yeah.
very quickly till
Yeah.
then. And the thing is, I'll take it, because the thing is, if I'm able to do actions from an
Mm,
Apple device, and their level of privacy that's there with Apple,
yeah.
um, I will always pick that over
Mm,
anything that Microsoft throws my way, Google throws my way. Because for me,
yeah.
it's about that ecosystem. I mean, as you know,
Mm,
I love the fact that we're in this Apple ecosystem, and it
mm,
makes life so much easier. And it's about making my life easier. Like, I want to
yeah.
use tech to make my life easier, not to
Mm,
make it more complicated.
yeah.
I don't want to do this complex stuff to do, just to use things, just to make my life. Yeah, that should
Mm,
be is a tool. It should be helping you out with things,
yeah.
not
Yeah.
to, beta test it for some other company.
Mm, yeah. I think you're right. I think they'll probably announce they'll not maybe they'll announce the deal. It would be I feel like it would be super bad move to be like start announcing features already. I think announce the deal, wait till iOS 18 comes out, couple features, but proper integration next year. Um, Interesting though. I Do you think is this is a long-term thing? Or do you think Apple is still gonna work on their own
Nah,
AI
I
thing?
think
Here's
I told
here's
you. I told you Apple was not gonna work on their own AI thing, and I stick with that, because knowing Apple, right? They focus way too much on hardware.
Hmm.
That they haven't been focused on software in years now. The
Yeah.
thing is, this is the first time where they're like, oh shit, this is something that we didn't anticipate. Google was working on something like this for years and end.
Yeah.
Microsoft never worked on this. Microsoft was like, we'll just strike a deal with ChatGPT to make
Yeah.
it work.
Yeah.
Um, and that's pretty much where Apple was sitting as well. And now Apple's like, shit, we
Mhm.
done fucked up because we were so invested in this Vision Pro
Yeah.
situation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That they forgot about. It's like, yeah, they might have acquired like a whole bunch of these AI companies, but the thing is, which one of these AI companies are you aware of? Because they might not be as advanced as how
Mm.
advanced OpenAI and Google is right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Um,
You know?
yeah, I think so the reason I said that in terms of their long-term plan, a bit of yeah, gonna segue into non-AI stuff, but still related. Uh, I don't know if you saw the new iPad announcement.
Yeah.
They've done it again. They've made it stronger. Thank you very much, Apple. Uh, for what it's
What?
worth, they've made a stronger iPad. So good. But they did, first of all, they started saying the words AI for the first time like ever.
Yeah.
And they're saying that this chip is an AI focused chip, the new M4 chip.
Yeah.
So I run like AI models on I've got an M1 Mac and I run them
Yes.
locally and they
Yeah.
work fine. But they're small. They're not on the scale of, any ChatGPT stuff. So I still think they're gonna try push for some sort of native AI stuff for small things. Like, the things you're talking about in terms of um making actions happen,
Yeah.
that all is gonna have to happen locally. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so I
That's
think
true.
they can still there's still a part to play in AI that they have to do in terms of making actions happen.
Yeah. See,
So
they'll do
yeah.
that for sure. Like
Mm,
it's like how Google Photos is being used, or
mm,
how they
mm.
use even in their Photos app to enhance photos. They do
Yeah.
use AI. So for things like that, they'll definitely have something locally, for
Yeah.
sure. I'm not going to deny that. But
Mm,
I think like the part where they want to sort of get Siri to do things or
mm.
connect it with the internet or things to
Yeah.
browse or research or things like that, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think that's where OpenAI is going to come in and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is the massive gap you guys have. We can fill
Mm,
it in for you.
yeah.
This is what their specialty is. OpenAI
Yeah.
doesn't do every single
Mm,
like they do a lot of stuff in the AI space, but they don't do everything.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and that's where but the things that they do, they are the industry leading in that
Mm,
section. So they will help with that side of things.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very interesting year. I think if Apple plays it right and they combine OpenAI for, like you said, browsing, getting information, and then they go heavy on the controlling your iPhone,
yeah,
um, and integrating, every action. I'm sure shortcuts are gonna go crazy soon.
yeah.
So
I'm so excited for that. I
yeah,
think that's
yeah,
what makes me excited because
mm,
having it on the Apple ecosystem, right,
yeah,
would make it so much better. Like that's what is
yeah,
missing right now in the Apple
mm,
ecosystem. Like
yeah,
it's great. I love using because it's so seamless using your phone to iPad to AirPods to Apple Watch. It's like
mm.
so seamless. And having that all integrated, removing Siri would be amazing. With I'm
Oh
just
my
saying with
gosh, the
the
death of
ChatGPT.
Siri, that sounds
Yeah,
kind of great.
I will take it because I
Yeah.
hate Siri. I hate it. I'll take Google at at any point, in front of Siri.
Mm,
But yeah, no,
okay.
it just needs to go. It needs to go.
Interesting question. So Apple is, they like putting their name on everything. Do
Yeah.
you think whatever assistant they have will be called ChatGPT, or they're gonna wrap it and call it, something else? Well, maybe even Siri. What do you think
They'll
they're
probably
gonna
call
do?
it Siri because they'll
Yeah.
keep it simple. The thing is, they don't want the consumer to think this is a new product or new thing that they have to
Mm,
learn. they want to keep it seamless, but they're like, oh, this is an upgrade version.
Yeah.
It's like Microsoft. Microsoft uses Copilot as a name, right, for everything.
Mm.
That's not really OpenAI or ChatGPT. People don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even today at work, we were talking about this whole thing, right?
Mm.
And a lot of people had no idea that Copilot is actually just ChatGPT wrapped around that Microsoft
Uh,
banner.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just Copilot. I want to use it. What does it do?
Mm.
That sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
conversation. Um, so
Yeah.
I think that's the best part about Apple is they want to make it easier for the consumers. They don't
Mm.
like they don't want to make it more complicated for users.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that is what um, Google is doing, right? It's making it too complicated for everyone to utilize. They don't want to go through like these 100 plans and this and that. They just want to
Yeah.
use the product straight away.
Yeah.
They couldn't
Yeah.
care about all these different products. They don't want to go through 10 different apps to understand which AI to use at that one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if they just do it as Siri, like that's great. That works for us. You
Yeah.
know,
Let's see. When is
like even having that
WWDC?
natural conversation, it's like great.
Mm.
So yeah, like I think OpenAI releasing this Mac, I think I
Mm.
feel like this deal would have really struck heights after this uh, Mac app announcement
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everyone's been so hyped about this
Mm.
Mac app, and I was like,
Yeah.
everybody wants to use it. So I
Yeah.
think
Kind of
it'll start.
wild that they are half owned by Microsoft, and the first desktop app they make is an Apple one.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was probably because of the Copilot. Because
Yeah, maybe
I
they
was
don't
kind
want
of
to compete.
expecting,
Yeah, maybe they don't want
yeah,
to compete with CoPilot, but yeah,
yeah, because
very
probably
interesting.
Microsoft told them like, hey, we're gonna release the
Yeah.
same thing because they
From
did,
a
right? They
mm,
from the demo, that's what they showed in Minecraft. They were showing somebody
mm,
like, hey, this is where you are at. It was exactly doing the same exact thing, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
just with the Copilot banner and a
mm,
shittier UI.
yeah. So crazy how we were so underwhelmed. We're not underwhelmed, but like we're just like, oh, thanks Windows, you did the thing. But then we're like, oh my gosh, Apple's gonna do it. Let's go. Like it's so funny.
No,
And I just think
because
they'll
the
do
thing
it better.
is,
I just think they'll do it better.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like the thing is for me, I'm thinking it as a consumer. I don't want to
Mm,
go through this complicated thing. And this is
mm,
something that I did in uni, right? Where I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll use Windows and I'll use Android and I'm gonna make my life harder because I feel like this is gonna give me maximum capability. And I'm
mm,
like, and now that I've moved to this Mac and iPhone, like life is so simple. I don't have to think about it. I don't want to overcomplicate things. I think
yeah.
that's what Apple's really good at, and that's
Yeah.
probably what I want from my
Yeah.
devices. I don't care about all these random frills and gimmicky items. I want
Mm,
the, my devices to just work
yeah.
seamlessly. I don't have to think
Yeah.
about it.
The less time I gotta spend configuring things, working out things, getting to pages, the better. I just want things done
Yep,
so I can move on to the next thing.
exactly.
Um,
Simply.
yeah. To let's wrap this up. Let's do in memoriam. Do you know what that is? It's
No,
it's
no.
like sometimes they do it at like award shows where like the people have died and they're like, oh, these are the famous people that have died this year.
Okay, okay.
Should we do in
Go.
memoriam? It's like, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
but let's do it this way, where
Uh-huh.
you say one thing, then I say the next thing, and then you say
Okay.
the next thing,
All
and then
right.
I say the
Okay.
next thing.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna go the first RIP has gotta be to um which one should I pick? I'm gonna go with the rabbit. Rabbit R1
Damn,
RIP.
you picked a good one here.
I took a good one. Rabbit
Yeah,
R1 RIP, like
yeah.
damn. I mean they had
That's
to
a
get it out
mess.
before, but 5 minutes of an OpenAI presentation just yeah, did
Uh,
everything, took everything from them, and also just the reviews. I don't know if you discussed the reviews they
yeah,
had, but they were just, oh,
they're just horrible. I,
yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand these companies want to charge you so much to
Mm,
test like barely baked product. Yeah.
yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
rest in
Uh,
peace. Rest in peace.
just on a side for Rabbit, I don't know if you follow CoffeeZilla. You probably do if you do
Yeah,
any crypto stuff.
sometimes here and there.
He does a lot of crypto scams.
Yeah.
So Rabbit used to be a crypto company.
Yeah, I would be
Yeah,
surprised to
I
be
didn't know
honest.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they actually like kind of yeah, they kind of ghosted all the people they sold NFTs to. So yeah, I don't know.
Not
I don't know if we
surprised.
should be trusting these guys, but yeah, you should check it out. They've got a video on it. Anyway, give us
Yeah.
another RIP.
You mean it has to
Oh,
be?
yeah. I mean, like maybe I would say yeah, they got defeated by the voice demos or the voice demos that happened because
Yeah.
they were so slow. Like
I don't know what they were thinking.
the amount of time those requests took, and the way the especially the OpenAI demo where it's almost real time. It's responding faster than like I would respond in a conversation, you know? And it's like, damn, these guys, then you gotta wait 30 seconds for a wrong answer from humane. Like, damn guys,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
gotta suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other RIPs? I was gonna say maybe uh, RIP to the this is gonna be super random, but um anyone's like translators? Any translator apps?
Yeah. I was gonna say
Like
Duolingo. I was like, RIP
no, I mean
Duolingo.
Duolingo is still good because you can like learn. I think it's still valuable to learn other
Yeah,
languages.
but how
I don't know
close
if
are
that's gonna
we to?
cancel.
But the thing
Oh,
is, we are
true.
pretty
Yeah.
close to tutoring. So the tutoring was the
Mm.
big thing, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you could just ask it, how do I say this, that kind of stuff, and it can
help me
really
out.
help
Make
you.
a course for me. Tell me how to
What
do
they need
this.
to do, they need to integrate the stuff in their thing straight away. Make it
Yeah, typical.
conversational. Make it conversational. That's the only way because,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, yikes.
yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
Do you have any
Nope.
more?
RIP Khan Academy.
Well, I think this. Oh, but then that's kind of
Oh,
wild. They had Khan, right, do the demo. Like that's
they,
kind of wild that
he
they.
just signed his death certificate.
Uh, damn. That's got to be rough because you know that the traffic to a
Yeah,
lot of these sites has dipped heavy. Things like
yeah.
Stack Overflow, traffic dipped. Maybe that's my next RIP, but I really don't want Stack Overflow to die because we low-key need that.
Nah, it's a done. It's a done deal.
This is my problem. Like, if all these companies die, we're not gonna have any place to get the new information from. So they also
The thing
signed a
is,
deal.
but this is the thing. They have to evolve. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like right now, if this whole thing with Apple, right, it's not just going to be a deal for them,
Mm,
but it's also going to be a deal where all the applications can sort
mm,
of subscribe to the, you know how what Rabbit was trying to do with the
yeah.
whole trying to do these action models, right?
Mm, mm.
So all of these companies can now create their own action model that will integrate with AI.
With Apple. Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
thing is, every company will have to evolve. Like the way we use applications is going to change completely now because we want to make it easier. We want, like, nobody wants to go to the screen. Nobody wants to go and look at ads, Rather, it's going to be a whole different ball game. And this is where my RP's next one's going to be Google. Sorry, Google.
No,
You're
no,
about to
no, no,
die.
no. No, 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 no. Now you take it too far. Now you take it too far. Slow
I'm
down,
telling
King.
you, I'm telling you,
How?
Google search is gonna have
Uh,
a hard time. In next 5 years, we'll be
mhm.
like, damn, what happened to that Google search?
Nah, Google search is not going anywhere, bro.
5 years, 5 years. I'm saying because the thing is, they won't be able. If this Apple deal happens, right?
Mhm.
They are not keeping up with what's about to come because Apple's definitely gonna have something to do with that whole trying to have action models
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
the
no,
applications.
they've like released like that they're doing research and they've released models of like interface interaction, all that kind of
You know,
stuff. So they're definitely working towards that.
And Google
Yeah.
search, where does it earn their money? Like, I'm not saying Google as a company, like
Mm.
Alphabet won't die, but Google search engine, that will die.
You still need a place to search for things. You still need somewhere
Yeah,
to search
you
because
have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have all these other
no,
places.
but then
I'm
there's
just saying,
still there's still you need to be able to access websites.
yeah, and you do.
So
That's what I'm saying. You do.
how do you access the website?
Okay, tell me
Because here's the
something.
thing.
You want a restaurant, right? You go to
Yeah.
Instagram, search that restaurant, go
Hmm.
to the website.
Yeah.
Uh, like this is what I'm saying. I don't
Mm.
go to Google anymore because I can do that on
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, or ChatGPT. Like if I'm doing this right now, I think people will slowly start getting to that point.
Mm.
Like one of
Yeah.
the biggest issue Google is has been having, and they were really scared about, and that's why they were lobbying against TikTok, was because they were already taking searches away from them.
Mm. Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, I see, I could be wrong, but I think in 5 years' time, we'll see Google search, at least the state that they are in, that will
Mm.
die because of their ad revenue, because it just won't make sense to run that anymore.
I think, yes, it'll be different, but I don't think it's going anywhere because here's the thing. There are things that you just want to go straight to the result. So, yes, you want to go to a restaurant, sure. You want to go to somewhere like TikTok, you want to search for things, TikTok, Instagram, that kind of stuff. But if you want information, yes, you can do a initial search and it's going to give you some information and you're going to get what you want, sure. Tell me now, you want to go and you want to buy something. You want to buy I don't know, you want to buy some clothes. How
Yeah.
are you gonna and let's say you're searching, are you gonna search what are you gonna search for that? Are you gonna ask ChatGPT to buy you clothes?
Instagram, bro. I'm telling you. Like, you're thinking that, okay, we're at a point where
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok are trying to integrate shopping to
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think we're gonna be at a point where we actually will have to go to these websites? No, bro. There'll be ways to just go straight into these, or
Yeah.
there'll be ways like, hey, like we'll be like, hey Siri, tell us this, and it will be like, okay, here you go. You can go straight to the website. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, you have to go look this up manually anymore. Like,
You're gonna
no,
search, bro.
then
You're gonna search for things. You're
I'm
gonna
telling
search,
I'm telling
dude.
you, give it about 5 years. I'm saying like Google search
Mm,
might be there, but I'm saying like as the state it is in right now, right?
yeah.
It won't exist. That's just not going to be something, because
Mm,
they were already dying off with that TikTok thing, and with this AI going ahead, right? People
mm-hmm.
and with iPhone and Apple, if they move ahead with this open AI stuff,
Yeah.
then their search is going to drop. The thing is, they're already seeing massive dip in people getting traffic in their ad revenue. It'll be stupid for them to keep running that unless they go ahead and make a paid model of that the AI stuff with search.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. I just think
5 years,
there's too many use cases for search that AI does not cover, I think.
yeah, but I'm saying in 5 years' time,
Yeah.
every other product will cover it. Like the
I'd
thing
be
is
surprised.
just,
I'd be surprised
yeah.
because that means you're gonna have to have
Just,
an app for each different thing you need to buy instead of
no, no,
going to
no.
Google
Leave
and
leave all that aside. My
okay.
question is, what is the like in your phone? What
Mhm.
application do you use the most?
Probably Notion.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
you have some other
Disappointing.
thing. Okay, okay. What's the next
Disappointing.
one after
Uh,
Notion?
Notion, YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
YouTube is good enough. Yeah. What
Yep.
about next one?
I mean, I'd have to check. I'd have to check. Maybe Chrome. I do a lot of searching still.
You're
Um,
bullshitting with me. Nah,
I'm serious.
nah,
You know, okay,
nah.
you're not gonna do. You're not gonna do. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm
Okay,
gonna
okay, okay.
go.
Let's see.
I'm gonna go to my used apps. Sorry, my
Yeah.
my screen time.
Yes.
Let's see what we got.
Surely you don't have so much screen time on Google search, you know. This is
Let's
not
see. Let's see,
like,
bro.
tell me, people look for convenience. People want to go to wherever they are. Like the reason
Uh-huh.
why I use TikTok for search is because I'm always on TikTok, or I'll just search it from there.
Hmm.
It's that convenient, you know, and it will
How
give
do
me
I?
the results.
All
So
right. Messenger is another app I use a lot.
yeah, Messenger I use a lot, yeah. But
Uh, Pinterest.
Pinterest, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah.
This is a bunch of messaging apps.
But tell me,
Twitter.
where does Google stand over there? Google search.
Let's see. This is just for last week, so it's not gonna be like
Yeah, yeah,
one,
but
two,
even
three,
last
four,
week.
five, six, seven, eight, nine. Just under WhatsApp.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay,
my
okay.
question is, wherever people are spending most of the time, would it be easier for them to go from there to
Mm.
whatever they're searching?
So
If
do you
they
want like
can
an
do
everything
that,
as in
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm
like
saying. Like,
mm.
what if that was possible? Wouldn't they do that? Whatever they were spending the most of the time on.
I think you're assuming that everyone's gonna be on social media.
Well, yeah, but let's say leave social media aside. It doesn't
Okay.
have to be social media, but it could be
Okay.
any application.
Yeah.
Whatever application they spend the most time on.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be the one that they'd use it for such?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I search most things on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it depends on the kind of information I'm looking for.
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So
But what I'll
search,
say is if you were to go to my computer now
yeah,
and most used app is still Chrome,
yeah, but
and
that's what I'm
first thing
saying.
there is Google.
It's Google.
It's
But
search.
my question is, how far are we from using ChatGPT for that? If we can just ask
Yeah.
how far are we from asking ChatGPT, hey, give us like a whole bunch of these, give us a list of websites that we require for this particular task.
Yeah, I did try that recently. They're not yet there, but I
Yeah,
think they can be. Yeah.
how far are we? We're not that far off.
Mm.
Like they've given it access to the internet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be ChatGPT 5, which will be that product.
Okay.
I d-
Hear me out. Google is still in the AI race.
no, no,
So,
they will be fine. But I'm saying Google search as it is right now won't
yeah.
exist. I'm not saying Google will disappear. Google
Mm.
will, like, I'm saying Alphabet, everything under Alphabet still stays. Google
Yeah.
AdSense stays.
Yeah.
Google search is what I'm talking about. That Google search, we're just not going to be searching that ways because that's
Okay, that's
already
that's fair.
dropping
I
heaps.
I don't doubt it'll be very different. I don't doubt it'll be different, but I think there's still lots of use cases where you need to just search and get a
Yeah,
whole bunch of
yeah.
websites.
Right now, we are at that point. I'm saying five
I'm
years from
saying
now.
like I don't see that going away, is what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, like 5 years from now, it'll be like,
I think you have
internet.
I
No, no, 5 years from now, it'll be like the Internet Explorer, where you'll be like, oh shit.
really
Yeah, you'll be like, yeah, we're gonna see Simba using his Google search. I'll be like, damn,
okay.
bro, you gotta,
Okay.
you gotta move on. You know,
All
you're
right.
ancient now.
Listen. Look, let's see. We'll see.
Okay,
But
okay,
it's gonna be interesting. I know it'll be different.
yeah.
But it's just gonna take a couple times where these guys give you the wrong answer. I think there's a lot of
Oh
trust
yeah.
you're putting in
No,
the
but
results they're
I
gonna
use
give.
it. The thing is, I've been using it for past year. That's the thing. It's not like I
Yeah,
don't. I use it quite often, so I'm all right.
that's
I'm
fair.
I'm okay with using ChatGPT and TikTok for most of my items. uh, I'm not saying it's right there yet, but I'm saying
Mm,
in 5 years' time we'll have a much more mature product and something that will be in hands of most people. Like if this Apple needs trucks, and if this
yeah.
Apple needs trucks, I'm sorry, but I just don't see Google going like Google surviving. The whole
Yep.
search side of things,
Let's see.
because that was
Let's
a
see.
massive deal even for Google when Apple made
Mm,
a deal with them. So
yeah. Let's see. But keep in mind, when you search on ChatGPT and you want to search for something, where does it go to?
what do you
It
mean?
goes to it goes to Bing. It'll be like searching Bing for this.
Well,
Am
let
I
it
wrong?
search wherever.
So
Like they,
that's what I'm saying. If it doesn't exist, where's it gonna
yeah,
search?
but that's what I'm saying. Even if Google exists, right? Even
Yeah.
Google search, it's not gonna be the way it is right now. It's just not.
Hmm.
It's not possible for it to be this way. It'll probably be like, yeah, you're saying like Gemini, right? Where
Hmm.
Gemini be like, oh yeah, here are the search results for you. But
Hmm.
it's not gonna be like, oh, it'll just give you like 10,000 pages of all of these items, which you won't go through. You don't care. I don't. I just want to go from point A to point B with the
Hmm.
shortest amount of time.
Yep.
So that's the
All right.
RFP Google search in the current form.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Only time will tell. I'm trying
yeah.
to think. Let's maybe we can end it there. Think of more RIPs for next time. I'm sure more companies would
Um,
have been cooked by the next time we talk. But
well, RIP AMD, Intel, AMD,
no, 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 no.
those two
What,
companies.
really?
Well, the thing is, if Microsoft's moving away to Snapdragon, I'm sorry, but Intel really fucked up.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
Intel's in trouble. Intel's in trouble there. Yeah.
and AMD, the reason why I say AMD is what
Mm,
NVIDIA doing is doing right now is like it's a bit
yeah.
hard to compete with them, like with the profit that they're making.
Yeah, I agree, but like I don't know if Nvidia is doing anything um that AMD can't catch up to.
It's like talking like how Google search and Bing search is doing right now. You know, AMD is Bing
No,
search
no,
right
no.
now.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
I, I get that, but then AMD, that's all they do. Bing is
yeah,
like
yeah,
a piece of Microsoft that they've basically just forgotten about at this point. AMD is like, if we don't get this right, we're gonna die. Bing, if Bing doesn't work, Microsoft's gonna be okay.
yeah.
AMD
True.
needs to make this work to survive. So I think they're gonna
Like,
put
I think
everything
they'll
into
survive.
catching up. Yeah.
The thing is they'll survive because they'll survive in your. Uh, it's like how Motorola is surviving right now. You know. No, no, no. Hear me out. It's like that market, right, where you can't get the high end chip, you won't be able to get the high end chip, so you'll have to
Yeah.
buy the cheapest thing possible. Motorola was
Yeah.
the first company to come out with mobile phone, and this is where
Yeah.
they are at. So I'm just
Yeah.
saying
Things
that's
change.
what happens in the tech industry. You know, like
Yeah.
if you don't keep up, if you don't and capital wins as well. Like the amount of capital you have as a company, more R&D you have, uh,
Mm.
that's just not something AMD has. Like it's barely making profits right now at the moment. So
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. It's gonna be interesting. Keep it pushing, guys. Keep it pushing. Don't let this guy
I have one
demotivate
more
you. Oh,
RFE.
you got one more.
I have
Okay.
one more. This one you won't like,
Okay.
but I will do say
Okay. Give it to me.
RIP Apple Vision Pro.
Um, I mean, I don't like that, but I will say that the focus has shifted heavy for everyone. Even Mark is like hardly talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Thrown it all out in the bin. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
dude.
we do
Everyone's
consider
really
yeah,
pushing for
stuff.
this AI race, and I think I'm not gonna say RIP, but I'm gonna say that it's definitely been pushed in terms of importance.
Do you
But
think we're gonna
I
see it
think this,
in Australia? Apple Vision
yeah,
Pro?
I think they'll announce it at WWDC.
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. I think this
You
is
think they're gonna
releasing
cancel
date.
it?
And I think it's not gonna release it in any other country. I feel like that will be the first
Really?
version that they did just as like a US thing.
Mm.
Then we'll see them resurface in like 3 4 years. They're like, oh yeah, maybe we have this new version now, a lot more polished. We had all these users who didn't do anything. We had no applications on this thing. Uh, but now we're going to actually do it properly. So here you
Mm.
go.
I don't know. Okay, what I'll say is the I think they're still gonna push forward with it because it's Tim's baby.
No.
I think the fact that
Tim's
they've
baby. Tim's baby is whatever makes money for Apple.
that's true. That's true.
Uh,
Um, but I don't think it's over yet. I think they're still gonna announce it. I'm probably not gonna get it though.
yeah.
Even though I
There's
did
no
want it, I think I
applications.
might just get the Quest, to be honest.
The thing is,
I
it's
might
not
just
worth
get
the
the
money
Quest.
right now. It's just
Yeah,
not worth like this is what I'm saying. This industry trend of us wanting to, they want us to sort of build it out for
yeah,
them. It's just stupid. I don't like it.
yeah. Let's see, maybe next version. But
The thing is, they don't incentivize developers. It's that problem.
yeah, yeah, and they've been fighting with the developers, So I mean, it's not a surprise that we haven't heard
I'm just saying,
much
there's gonna be a pushback more right now with this whole AI thing
pushback, as in for yeah, yeah, 100%, yeah.
because
But
it's
yeah,
gonna be like, oh, you don't want people to actually come into our application and they'll just do these action by
mm,
AI. People
yeah,
won't like it
yeah,
because it's
true.
the AdSense, It's the AdSense. It hurts the bottom dollar. And that's where, companies who will adapt, like you'll see some small companies who'll be like, yeah, actually, you know what? I'll adapt it and make it easier for users,
Mm,
and they will flourish because people don't think too much about switching applications. If
yeah.
there's something a lot better out there and makes life easier, that's what I'm saying. Like it's always about point A to point B, how quickly you can make that. And if that is the thing that these applications can do, what's going to happen? People will jump board now. It's volatile times now.
Yep, it is. I think I just have a concern that the more companies you destroy and, absorb into this AI thing, um, the less good products we're gonna have, I think.
No, but the thing is, but that's the thing. Maybe we need to look at it in a different, like we need to start looking at things in a very different view. I
Hmm.
understand. Yes, it's going to destroy the way the basic framework and how we work at the moment.
Yep.
But maybe we need to look at it from a different angle. We'll be like, oh, okay, we've lost all of this. And this is always the case, right? When new technology comes out, it destroys a
Mm,
whole bunch of things. And then this open door for this all these new things, right? I think
yeah.
that's what we'll discover now.
Mm,
Because that happens. That it is what it is. It's like you remember how we had desktop applications. That was a phenomenal thing until
mm,
these mobile phone came through. But the thing is, mobile phones didn't have this until iPhone came out with this app store, and it was just
yeah.
revolutionary. And then people stopped really using desktop application for a lot of things, right? Because
Yeah.
it's just easier for people like just pull out the phone and do that, do the thing
Mm,
themselves.
yeah. Let's see.
It's
I just
all
hope they don't consume too much before there's a chance to create more, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, yeah, they'll consume. I think it'll
Yeah.
consume, but I think it'll
Mm,
also create new opportunities. Like I'm just saying, this GPT stuff, it's pretty cool. I actually really enjoy it.
mm,
I wanna try making more GPTs, you know.
mm. Yeah.
And if you can sort of monetize that, or I think
Yeah.
that's even better. Things
Yeah.
like that. Um, I think where the doors of closing, right? I think
Mm,
there'll be more doors that will open,
yeah.
uh, and that's just
Well,
always the case.
mm, yeah, let's see how we go. Exciting times. Exciting times.
It's
Um,
surprising, I feel like it was the other way around before. Like when
really?
I was more cautious about these
Yeah.
AI stuff, and you were like, "Oh
Uh,
no, this is very exciting." It's
no,
gonna kill a bunch of things, but it'll be. But I think it's become opposite.
it is still definitely exciting to me. I think there's a lot of good that is coming from this and a lot of good that already has come. Um, I just think that the rate is not actually I don't know if the rate is too fast, but I think that the things that people are not thinking about um that we still need that actually feed these models,
Yeah,
right? That are gonna die. I think a lot of print media is gonna die because they're not gonna get the ads, and then these news organizations are already down. Like so many
yeah,
news organizations are getting cut and closing down, and they're not getting the ad revenue. And then where are we gonna be searching from? Where are we gonna be getting data from? So
but here's the thing, right?
mhm.
This is this is where we'll have to change as a society. I think that's what like this was already happening. This news thing, right? Good example
Mhm.
was already happening even though they with Twitter. Twitter was the prime example where they were providing news really well until, of
Yeah,
course, Elon bought it and just ruined the whole thing.
yeah.
Uh, I gave them a bit more of a lifeline. These guys, the news companies, right?
Yeah,
But I don't think it dies. I think it just we have to just evolve from it. It's the same thing, right? Like we had these blogs, right?
mm,
We have to move on from it and actually make it into something that's like, okay, this is how we start providing this data and consuming
yeah,
this. It's just a different way, and I think we
mm,
just have to find what that right way is,
yeah,
essentially. And I'm
yeah.
sure, like, even these guys will sort of create that. Like, for example, with GPTs, right? We might get to a point where, like, oh yeah, you just feed in the data, and then people can consume it from these other
Mm,
areas. It's
yeah,
just having some outlet for in and out. Uh,
yeah, yeah. let's see. I think maybe to kind of go on what you said, uh, there'll be new ways and we have to evolve. I just think that AI is evolving faster than society is.
Yeah.
And that's going to cause in the long term is going to be great. I think there's going to be a bit of a bloodbath coming
Yeah.
up. And is that really a net positive for society? I don't know.
But that's the thing, right? Wasn't
Right.
that always the case though? Like even with like web, just think of this. When
Mm,
the web boom came by,
yeah.
wasn't that a bloodbath where people, there were so many random websites, so many different things. People were just trying to
Hmm.
throw things, and it was just a weird shit show, right?
Yeah.
But we matured up from there.
Hmm.
And that's with any new technology, right?
Yeah.
When mobile phones came out, it was a bloodbath. People were like, oh no, we want this one. No, Android came
Mm,
through. Wait, BlackBerry is still better, as we still like the physical touch of those keyboard and stuff.
mm,
Now, and then the App Store came out, and that just ruined all desktop application. We were like, oh no, what about these desktop applications? Do you remember when the days when we had to download VLC, we had all of this other stuff, like downloading things like that. And now we
mm,
don't have to do any of that. Uh,
yeah.
it's just getting to a mature point, like
Yeah.
every piece of technology will come in and it just disrupts everything. And that's pretty much what this is
Mm,
doing, right? It's just basically disrupting every single thing. And now it's going to be a bloodbath because every company wants to be at the top of this chain,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then from there, where how we mature as a society, it'll happen.
Mm,
Every time it has to happen because without that, even these products can't really sustain.
yeah. Yeah. I think yeah, we gotta push on. The thing is this feels a bit different. In terms of like the potential for AI, right, is that it
Yeah,
is somewhat, I don't want to say exponential, but the rate of change is higher than any other shift, I think. I don't want to
yeah,
say any
yeah.
other shift, but this is a big difference between going from desktop to mobile, I
Yeah, but
think.
that's what they said, right? When this internet came through, internet became a thing. They're like, oh shit, this
Right.
is revolutionary. We're going way too fast. And it's
Mm,
always been this way. Like we'll feel this for sure. It's
yeah.
always like this. They're like, oh, this is feeling way too fast. We're moving way too fast. This is always the common phrase. Like,
Mm,
yeah, and it'll be fine. We'll be fine. I
all
think
right.
we just have to adapt. I think there'll be industries that will sort of die off for
Yeah.
sure. And I
Mm,
think us being in a bit more on the tech space already, right? I
yeah.
think we'll feel the most brunt of it
Mm,
because we'll see tech companies just fail left, right, and center in front of us. A lot of tech companies will die, but that
yeah.
also means we'll also see new tech companies emerge, or there might not even be tech companies as such. Or
Mm,
tech might not be even a thing. It might just be like, oh, whoever knows how to use these AI
mm,
models, they'll hire that for the purpose of whatever the application or thing is supposed to do. And I don't
yeah.
know the answer to that. Again,
Mm,
it's an unknown. I think it's definitely that unknown that's very unsettling, right? But at
yeah.
the same time, that's always been the case
Mm,
with any technology. Everybody says it's way too fast, and it will be. It will be way too fast. It will
mm,
accelerate, and we'll be in a position where we're like, what the fuck is this nonsense? You know? Or
yeah.
right now we're saying ChatGPT, all of a sudden Google becomes like the clear winner out of nowhere. Or
Mm,
some other random company just comes out of nowhere. It's like, actually, Ransomware destroyed all of these other models, that you have in
yeah.
front of them.
Yeah.
And that also means like we're destroying all these other things, professions, things like that.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess we just have to adapt. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Let's
much
see.
how we fought.
You heard it here, folks, from Amun himself. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. He said it. Confirmed.
It's surprising because it was the other way around last year.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe next time we're gonna switch again and I'm gonna be like, let's
Yeah.
go.
And that's
Let's
the
see.
best part, like
Yeah.
it's unknown. Like we don't know
Yeah.
what's coming. We don't know.
Yeah.
Both of us, we can't. really prick. We're saying all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're just
But
speaking
yeah,
out
we'll
of our
see.
asses, but who
Yeah,
knows what's
we'll
gonna
see.
come?
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool. Have you got
awesome.
some threats for us?
Maybe you go with the threat this
I
time
go?
because
Yeah,
we
okay,
didn't get
okay.
your threat in
I
last
got you. I
time.
got you. I got you. All right. If you do not like and subscribe, did I already do this one? I was gonna say we'll get AI to take your jobs.
Yeah, you already did this
I
one,
already did this one. Ah,
but we didn't
okay.
release that.
Oh, right. Okay, 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 okay,
Uh,
okay, okay. Okay, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Forget I said that. All right. If you do not like or subscribe, we will force you to use the Windows operating system for the rest of your life.
oh, no.
No Mac, no, and you can only use Android. I mean, I don't mind Android, but yeah, you'll be forced to use Windows XP
Wow.
with
No, not the
CoPilot
XP.
plugin.
No, no, you should have said Vista, you know.
Oh my gosh, Vista. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez, that was something.
What a time that was.